Hey everybody, this is Freaky with another Blessed Unleashed video. Today we'll be doing Time Dungeon Abyssal Hall of the Dead, which is the only time dungeon or the only abyssal dungeon that's in the rotation right now. So as you guys know, when the May update happened, the Good Idea Fairy told the developers, let's rotate these dungeons to force people to do dungeons and help people that haven't done the dungeons or whatever. And what they did is they lost the dungeons. They don't know where they put them. We don't know where they put them. We're trying to get those dungeons back because the market, which is a huge portion of the game, is currently destroyed. There's a lack of items that people need, and things that should be really easy drops, like Night Wind, number 2 Blessing Fragment. It's 1.2 million right now because people would abuse it. People know that there's a need and that there's a gap, and because the developers broke the dungeons, now things that should be maybe 20k, they're running 1.2 million just because the dungeons are nowhere to be found. So first boss of this run is this golem that comes out here. He has 4 gimmicks. Gimmick 1, he makes these rocks fall from the sky right there, little purple stuff, and it hits the ground. Pop, 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 pop. They deal decent amount of damage. Gimmick number 2 is the shield that you see right there. As soon as you break the shield, you will take a big chunk of the enemy's life. I believe something like 15% or 20%. Gimmick 3, he hits the ground. Little shadowy thing comes out from the ground, which is these little red auras, and then a spike comes up, gives you an uppercut. So if you're able to move out of the way, you will take no damage. So those are the 3 big gimmicks that he always does. Now there's another gimmick that he does from time to time, where he creates like a reflect shield, and if he does that, basically he does a gigantic swing, and if he hits you with that, that's gonna one-shot you. So make sure you don't get hit by it, and make sure you don't deal damage to him when he does that, so that it doesn't hit you harder than it has to. But yeah, that's pretty much this whole boss. He's very slow. You just gotta move around. Make sure you're paying attention to the ground, either the big donut looking purple rings or the full shaded red rings in the floor, those red ones right there. If you move out of the way, you won't take any damage. So if your team has trouble clearing this guy, maybe revisit your gear scores or your gear, because sometimes I got 1400 gear score, but I use a frigging headpiece that is not the proper stats. Like for example, I use a crit rate head, which is the best in slot for my class. But if you have a mythic 5 of something stupid like HP head on a Berserker, then how does that really help you? It doesn't help you with your DPS. So yeah, but that's just that's another topic. I have a gear videos in which I explain what I use and what I don't use, and you will basically see that everything that I promote for the build that I use. I am a Nightwind user and Centurion's command user, as you guys know. So primarily I will talk about using those blessings, and also using those the equipment that refers to that. I did make on the first equipment video or build video, I talked about a blind executioner. I do have a build for it, I just don't use it. If it ever becomes something that I see that I enjoy playing again, I will do it, I will use it, but as of right now, this is what I enjoy playing. Very dynamic, I can move around, it's got survivability, very decent damage. So yeah, if they add a parser to this game, we can actually see your numbers and compare it like one run to another run, and you see a big difference in the damage. If they added a parser, then that'll be something that I will really love to take a look at, so that I can see how my damage compares to myself, not to other people. I'm not gonna sit here and, oh, you know, your mage is trash or whatever. No, but I would like to compare my damage against myself. So if I could see a parser, so I can see how my numbers fare DPS with myself, then that'll greatly improve the game for people. Now, I don't know if the reason why they don't add a parser is because they want you to just play the class with the blessings that you enjoy and not worry so much about numbers. That could be a reason. I'm not gonna sit here and say that the developers are thinking about people that much, because then why would they do some of the things that they do, right? You know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna sit here and complain. I already complained about the time dungeon situation. That good idea fairy is still fresh. So let's not give these people any more ideas. We all enjoy this game. It's a free game. Some of us do pay for things like the Blessed Pass or whatever. That's kind of like the same as having a subscription from, like, say, Final Fantasy 11, which I still play. But yeah, that's basically all I got for this boss. This guy is cakewalk. Like I said, if you have any issues with this boss, just either, you know, outright just leave the dungeon, or improve your gear score, or just bring pots. And yeah, make sure you you train with your guild before you start working with pickup groups. There's only one person there, so there's two runs in this video. So one of them has a guildmate in it, and we're not even communicating via mic because you know, guild drama. But I'm not gonna address that here. So yeah, this is it for this boss. We'll move on to the next boss. Alright, the next boss is the Depths of Corruption Queen, Miss Roiza. And this one is a watered down version of her. There's a couple gimmicks. She puts pink ores all over the ground like this, and they blow up. So make sure you evade those as you see fit. She does a thing where she also strikes the ground, and those auras kind of like go all over the place. Then there's another gimmick in which she chains one of your teammates. In this particular run, she chains me, and your teammates have to save you. So there's the chains. Then she goes in the middle, she does a button press for your teammates, and she spawns this golden auras, this golden little orbs. So you collect those, that gives you a shield, and then she tries to kill the person that's in the chains. Basically what everybody has to do is, with that shield aura you have, you're supposed to take one of those explosions. She's gonna send out like 4 of them. So basically your job is to protect your teammate. On the second video, the second Roisa, you will see that I would actually be not chained, and I will be defending the teammate that was chained on that particular run. So yeah, be a good mate and make sure you save the person. Nobody likes dying when they don't have to. They use elixirs or food, and nobody's likes dying unless you know if there's a gimmick you have to follow, you have to do the gimmick. Also, she does these pillars that come from the ground. Main point of this is to protect 1 or 2 pillars. They break really easily, but you have to try to protect them because there's a special portion in which you'll get in the middle of the screen and she'll do an AoE, and that AoE, each one of those orbs is like the other orbs that she did at the person that was chained. They hit for like 30,000. So if you don't have a place to hide behind, basically you're gonna be one-shotted. So you have to put yourself in front of the orbs that she throws at the spikes that come up from the ground. Now this fight, she gets to 20% or 15%, and then she takes off. So yeah, based on gear scores, levels, introduction of S rank gear, these fights became much easier. In this particular 2 runs that I did, I never had to save the pillars because you just died so quickly that that gimmick was never activated. But yeah, that is also, she's gonna do that. So if your team is new, your guild is new, you're helping people in there, make sure you know that there is something you will have to do. If you don't, you will be one-shotted and people will be pissed. So here's the button smash. You grab your ore, right, and then you walk right into one of those balls. If you hit more than one of those balls, you will be one-shot. You saw how much damage that thing did? 30k plus. So if you do not, if you finger slips and you touch more than one of those balls that she throws, that's insta KO. So make sure you're watching out for that. As far as any special gimmicks besides that what you saw, I mean, you could choose to evade these or get hit. Me, I have very high defense, and I have I take half damage when I do guillotine because I use Centurion's command, and also I'm healing with guillotine. So usually I take a lot more damage than I should because I know that I will gain the life back. So yeah, that's basically my playstyle for this character. So without further ado, we will move on to the next boss because anything that needed to be said about this one was said. Also, just a heads up, this is the second recording of my voice. The first recording, I forgot to put the mic on the stupid remote, and then I went to try to listen to the voice and there was nothing there. So luckily I made a check before I posted it or whatever, because that would have been very crappy if that would have happened to me. So yeah, moving on to the next boss. Alright, another fight. Disappears, and here we are. Abyssal, or Poison Ivy from Batman, however you want to call her. These 2 runs are quite different because the first group is a bit more organized than the second group. Also, the damage I think was a big factor. She's got a couple gimmicks. First gimmick is this one here, where she gets in the middle and you have to basically crush these plants. Back in the days when we didn't have the gear score, this actually will deal lots of damage. So people would avoid doing that, and it would just become very messy because people would get killed. She has this gimmick where she puts this pink anchor thing on top of your head. You have to move away from your guildmates so that they don't step on those plants. If they step on those plants that are there on the right hand side, or were on the right hand side, they get catapulted up and it deals lots of damage. So make sure there it is again. See, if they touch that green plant, they're basically gonna get catapulted. You take very little damage when that happens, so just make sure you're potting like you're supposed to. Make sure you don't expect mages to be running around after you, just trying to shield your, whatever. Make sure you have pots. Make sure you come to these runs with pots. Yes, it is their class, priest, but if you have a way to protect yourself from dying with a pot, it's better to have the pot, use it, than have to lose panacea or have to lose an elixir. This run I didn't use any of that, so you'll see that maybe my damage, I mean, it's still good, very good compared to many other berserkers out there, but yeah, I only had the panacea in this one. I didn't even use the food from the pyre or use an elixir. So basically all of this is all just rinse and repeat. Goes to the middle, spawn these little herbs, you gotta step on them, or she gets this little plant ads that come out. Use 2 of them like this with my belt that I talk about on my gear videos, and you will see why I'm able to collect so much rage from multiple enemies like this. So that's basically what I do. Besides that, this particular run, there's no mishaps. I didn't die either, so we'll move on to the next video, because she does, it's a little bit longer, and you will see that she actually, when she goes to the middle, she gains life, right, if you don't do it properly. See that symbol, the icon she gets? That's why it's good to have at least one person continuously damaging her. But if you have everybody just kind of stepping on these plants, then she's just gonna heal exponentially. So, but I was asked to make sure I stepped on these plants by the people that were running this run. So that's the reason why I did. If somebody asks you that, if you have a person that's running the runs and they tell you, hey, listen, do this, do that, be respectful, just do it. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to join their group. Make sure you leave. If you have problems following directions, just leave beforehand, or just do runs with your guild, or make sure you don't join groups like this. There's no need to be toxic when you're running. Everybody wants to get their drops. Everybody wants to be to have fun. So if you're given directions on what to do and you don't want to do them, just find another group that's not gonna make you do the things you don't want to do, right? Besides that, the next run is the second run, and in that one you will see that she will heal continuously, and because of that, she's able to do the last gimmick of hers, which is the one that she kind of goes in the middle and she does an AoE. She does 2 AoEs. She does one that's like a flower that kind of spreads out, and those orbs deal about 1,200 damage a piece, 1,300 depending on your defense. And then she does another one, which is she sends out this gigantic auras, this gigantic pink balls, right, that come out, and they're like evenly patterned. So if those actually deal a lot of damage as well. So make sure that you're stepping on these plants. Well, talk to your team, make sure you figure out what you're gonna do. because there's a couple runs in which people are not doing that. Basically what happens, we get surrounded by all these plants, and then I get asked, hey listen, just stun them. Okay, so I'll do like my leap and I'll stun these things, right? But as you can see right there, look how close my life got to dying, because they're, the people are not stepping on these plants like they're supposed to. So make sure you coordinate that with your group. Hey, who's gonna be on plant stepping duty, or whatever it is you decide to do. Make sure you coordinate it before, especially if it's a pickup group, because if not, people are gonna die and people are gonna get upset, and you're gonna end up having to shout for people to fill in your group, because people are gonna take off, especially when they die once or twice. They're gonna take off. So just make sure you plan ahead. These dungeons are very easy, and a lot of the things get repeated. So right here you're getting the plants, then she does the pink little anchor thing that's got a gimmick on it, then she does eyes on you, that's another gimmick, and then she does the AoEs, that's another gimmick, and then she goes in the middle. So these runs, if you study them, you'll perfect them, and if you have the proper gear score to run them, then more power to you. You'll be successful. There shouldn't be a reason for you to die to these things. Now she's getting ready to do, look how much life she gained already. She gained almost half her life on that one trip to the middle. So that's why we're running into so much time in this particular dungeon. She just kept on healing so much. I cannot see her. Okay, there it is. There's also 2 berserkers in this group, which is quite odd, because you're breaking so much defense. But it all comes down to the gear that the berserkers or the people have. There's the gimmick that I was saying. See how they're like in a star pattern, and then she does it again, and it's big wars. So if this stuff touches you, you will die. The other berserker died. So yeah, make sure you're not that guy, so that you don't have to lose your elixirs or food or whatever. So there's the anchor. You just move away from your team. Make sure you spawn those plants far away from everybody else. And then she does the eyes on you. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, make sure you drop a comment below. I always reply to all the comments. There's not one person that hasn't left even if it's something I don't like, I will reply. I'm respectful. Make sure you comment, and I'll be respectful, and I hope you're the same. Also, have a conversation. Just drop by, say hi. If you like my build, you don't like it, tell me why, and then I like having conversations in the comments. So make sure you drop a comment below, like the video if you like the content, and if you don't, also like, so that yeah, support the channel if you enjoy the content, right? Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if there's anything you guys want me to run, just make sure you leave a comment below, and then I'll make sure that I'll do a run of something you guys want me to do. The next video I'm going to be doing is Warlords, kind of mashed together, and then Red Basin. So those are my next things on the schedule. Well, not schedule, I kind of just shoot from the hip with these things. But yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do next. Talk about season 4 and so on and so forth. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the fight, and hope to see you guys in the next video.